The Extraordinary Rendition of Janos Farkas. Chapter 31. The sun started to fall and the shadows became hard and crisp, and it was not easy to notice the black of the priest's cassock becoming one with the shadows and disappearing into them. The courtyard of the once proud Damascene house was deserted. The priest scanned the rooms that opened onto it. Nothing. In the distance, an imam's call to prayers pierced the night. Sitting on an old stone bench, the priest waited. When the prayers were over, that is when they would come. He had played the devout Muslim role too long himself, not to know that the Syrian Muslim Brotherhood would take its prayers seriously. When they came singly, slipping as noiselessly through the dark shadows of the courtyard door as he had. Two of them were wearing cheap business suits, and the third a light leather bomber jacket and gray pants. In spite of their Western dress, they were all wearing red and white check shimogs over their heads, like desert banditos. The two in suits pulled their shimog across their faces so the priest could not see them. The man in the bomber jacket came over. The priest could smell expensive cologne. "Have you come to blow the walls of Jericho down?" The priest nodded. The Jericho phrase was proof of who the man was. "I am Alice Mari," the man said, "and you are?" "I am the priest." "We have what you asked for," Alice Mari said, "but it is suicide. Our men are not afraid to die, but to die uselessly and without purpose is something we would not ask them to do." "Are the Muslim Brotherhood men?" "They are more man than you are, a man who mocks his own faith." "I am a Muslim." "Only because your own church does not want you," Alice Mari said. The priest shrugged. "You have drawings, details, floor plans?" he asked. Alice Mari nodded. "We know Far Philistine like the back of our own hand. Its cells used to be reserved for Palestinian Fayadin fighters, many of which were our brothers. But after the Hama massacre, most of their cells were reserved for us. I myself spent 3 years in one. The details and floor plans are etched in our minds." Hama was a long time ago. "There are some things you do not forget," Alice Mari answered. "But the inside of the prison may have changed." "No." "How can you be sure?" "We have our informants." "Who?" Alice Mari didn't answer. The priest watched him move into the shadows and make a call on his cell phone. When he had finished, he didn't come back to the priest, but went over and talked to the others. The priest could not hear their conversation. A few minutes later, there was the sound of a car stopping outside the courtyard. Lightweight Uzis appeared in the hands of the men in suits. The priest, as though fingering his rosary beads, undid 2 chest buttons on his cassock. His hand slipped inside and touched the comfort of his own 9mm Beretta. A small, slim pocket by his right thigh concealed his 13-inch stag-handled stiletto. 3 men entered the courtyard. 2 were wearing shimogs over their face. The third was bareheaded but blindfolded. His right arm was in a sling. Alice Mari covered his own face and indicated to the priest that he might want to do the same. The priest shook his head. "The man's name is Abdullah," Alice Mari said. "He is a guard at Far Philistine. He is blindfolded because we do not know how far we can trust him. Follow me." The priest followed the men into a small windowless room lit by a single bare light bulb. When they were seated at a rough wooden table, the blindfold was taken from the man's eyes. "You still do not trust me," he said. "You cover your faces when it is me who would be beheaded if they knew I were here. You," he said, pointing at the man opposite him. "You are Alice Mari. With or without your shimog across your nose, I know who you are. I know all of you." He paused, a contemptuous smile on his face, and then leaned across the table. "The only one I don't know is you. Who are you?" "I am the priest. That is all you need to know." "What happened to your arm?" "A man struck me when I was not looking. If I had been looking, the man would no longer be alive. Who was the man? An American. He was bringing a prisoner to Far Philistin. He brought 2 that day. Who were they? I don't know. They had black hoods over their heads. You don't know if one was this man? The priest asked, showing Abdullah a picture of Janos Farkas. Abdullah shrugged his head and said, maybe. Was the day November 17th? Yes. Then it was him. It doesn't matter who the other was. Are they still in prison? One is. Only one? Only one went down to the cells. Where else do they keep prisoners? They don't. There is only the cells, the graves. If he's not there, he must be... Abdullah made a slashing motion across his throat. I need to find out what happened to this man. If he is the one in the cells, the priest said, pointing at Janos's picture. Can you do that? There is money in it. How much? Enough, the priest answered. There is also a gift involved. What gift is that? Abdullah asked. The priest made the sign of the cross in front of his face, and then extended his right hand as if to bless the man. The click was almost silent. The action a blur as the blade of a stiletto snapped open, only inches from Abdullah's forehead. The gift of your life, the priest said, and for that gift I want to know where the man is, how he is guarded, and how we can get to him. You must know the guards. Which one can we bribe? None. There are always guards you can bribe. Look at you. I am not here for the bribe, Abdullah explained. They broke my arm and Abbas didn't protect me. I hate Abbas. I spit on him. He stood up, spitting on the floor and slamming his good fist on the table. I hate the American who broke my arm. I spit on him. And he continued, spitting once more. And if I see him again, I will kill him. The priest looked at the hatred in the man's eyes. Trustworthy or not, the hatred was real. He could use that. How long will it take you to get what I want? He asked. I don't know if the other guards will still talk to me, Abdullah answered, sitting down. Use money. I have no money. I have no job, Abdullah replied, but his eyes narrowed with interest and greed. The priest smiled. Avarice was a great motivator. Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no desire to get wisdom, he said. Abdullah leaned forward, his lips barely moving, his eyes hard. I am not a fool. Then show me your wisdom. Then show me your money. The priest withdrew a black priest's wallet from his cassock, took out 3 100-euro notes and laid them on the table between them. I will need 3 days, maybe more, Abdullah said. I will meet you again in 24 hours. You will have the answers then. And if I don't, Abdullah replied, reaching for the money. I will take away my gift, the priest answered, driving his stiletto into the money on the table. There was a moment of sheer hardness between them until the priest withdrew the knife. Take the money, he said, and come back with the truth. When Abdullah had gone, he asked Alice Mari, who is this Abbas? Colonel Abbas is the commander of Far Philistin. Does he have a family? He has a son studying medicine in England, and a daughter and a younger son at home with his wife. Good, the priest said with a sinister smile. A man with a family can always do more for them. That's the end of chapter 31. Tomorrow, chapter 32.